Welcome to Spotlight Fades, where Amanda remembers extraordinary lives whose brilliance once lit up the world and still lingers through their legacy. This channel pays tribute to beloved figures from film, music, television, and culture, honoring their journeys, their influence, and the memories they left behind. Through each story, their light continues to live on and inspire. Mick Ralphs was one of those rare musicians whose playing didn't just support a song, it defined it. Born on March 31st, 1944, he grew into a guitarist and songwriter with a natural instinct for crafting riffs that were both powerful and unforgettable. His style wasn't about excess or flash. It was about feel, groove, and melody working together in perfect balance. Ralphs first made his mark with Mott the Hoople, helping shape their sound during a transformative period in rock music. But it was with Bad Company that his songwriting truly reached a global audience. Songs like Can't Get Enough and Feel Like Makin' Love carried his signature touch. Strong, clean guitar lines paired with a sense of restraint that made every note count. What set him apart was his ability to keep things simple without ever sounding ordinary. His riffs had weight, but they also had space, allowing the music to breathe. That balance became a cornerstone of classic rock and continues to influence guitarists today. Beyond the stage and studio, Ralphs was known for his quiet dedication to his craft. He wasn't chasing the spotlight. He was focused on the music itself, and that authenticity is part of why his work still resonates. Mick Ralphs passed away at the age of 81. While details around his passing were kept private, his legacy remains anything but. His music continues to echo through generations, a reminder of a time when a single riff could define an entire era. Born on May 11, 1970, Nikki Cat carved out a distinctive place in film and television with a presence that was impossible to ignore. Raised between cultures with American and Mexican roots, he brought a unique energy to every role he stepped into, often portraying characters who felt raw, unpredictable, and deeply human. Many audiences first remember him from Dazed and Confused, where he played Clint Bruno, a performance that captured the rebellious spirit of youth with effortless authenticity. As he grew into more mature roles, Cat became known for adding intensity and edge to his characters. On television, he left a lasting impression in Boston public, portraying Harry Sennett from 2000 to 2002, a role that showcased both his emotional range and sharp screen presence. Over time, he found a niche playing complex antagonists and morally ambiguous figures. In films like The Limey and Sin City, Cat demonstrated his ability to bring depth to darker roles, making even the toughest characters feel layered and compelling. He had a way of commanding attention without needing to say much. His expressions, timing, and natural intensity often spoke louder than words. Though he may not always have been in the spotlight, those who followed his work knew the value he brought to every project. He was a true character actor, someone who enriched stories by fully inhabiting the people he portrayed. Nikki Cat passed away at the age of 54, leaving behind a body of work that continues to resonate with fans of film and television. His performances remain a reminder of the power of authenticity and the lasting impact of an artist dedicated to his craft. Ozzy Osbourne, as one of the most recognizable voices in heavy metal, was born on December 3rd, 1948. He rose to worldwide fame as the lead singer of Black Sabbath, a band that would go on to define an entire genre of music. With his raw vocals and unmistakable stage presence, Ozzy helped shape the sound and spirit of heavy metal, influencing countless artists across generations. Coming from humble beginnings, his journey to stardom wasn't always smooth. Yet it was precisely that grit and authenticity that made his music connect so deeply with fans. Songs like Paranoid, Iron Man, and War Pigs became anthems, not just for their sound, but for the emotions and ideas they carried. Ozzy wasn't just performing. He was telling stories, pushing boundaries, and giving a voice to a new wave of music lovers. Beyond Black Sabbath, his solo career further cemented his legacy. He continued to evolve as an artist, proving that his creativity and passion never faded. Offstage, Ozzy was known for his unique personality, often unpredictable, but always genuine. Over time, he became more than just a musician. He became a cultural icon. Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76 after facing ongoing health challenges. His passing marked the end of an era, but his influence remains very much alive. His music continues to inspire, energize, and connect people around the world. More than anything, Ozzy will be remembered for his fearless approach to music and life. He didn't just follow trends, he helped create them. And through it all, he stayed true to himself, leaving behind a legacy that will echo for generations to come. Pamela Bach, born on October 16, 1963, was an American actress whose presence on television left a lasting impression on audiences, particularly during the golden era of popular TV dramas. With her striking screen presence and natural charisma, she became a familiar face to viewers through her work on several well-known series. She was perhaps best recognized for her role as Kay Morgan on Baywatch, where her performances brought both strength and depth to the show's dynamic storytelling. Beyond that, she also appeared in Sirens and made guest appearances across a range of television productions, showcasing her versatility as an actress. One of her earlier appearances on Knight Rider proved to be personally significant, as it was there that she met David Hasselhoff, who later became her husband. The two were married from 1989 to 2006 and shared 2 daughters together. Pamela's career reflected a time when television was evolving rapidly, and she was very much a part of that shift, bringing energy and authenticity to every role she took on. While she may not have always been in the spotlight, her contributions were steady and meaningful, earning her a place in the memories of fans who grew up watching her work. Off-screen, she was known as a devoted mother and someone who valued her family deeply. Her life, like many in the entertainment industry, had its share of challenges and triumphs, but through it all, she remained connected to the craft she loved. Pamela Bach passed away at the age of 61, leaving behind a legacy rooted in television history and the lives she touched along the way. Mike Tyson stands as one of the most electrifying figures the world of sports has ever known. His fists did more than win fights. They reshaped fear itself. Known as Iron Mike, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a man whose name thundered through arenas long before the bell rang. From his 91-second demolition of Michael Spinks to battles that captivated millions, Tyson was more than a boxer. He was an event, a storm that the sport never saw coming. Rising from the unforgiving streets of Brooklyn, his life is a story of raw fury, brilliance, and struggle. Yet beneath his legend lies a human story of trauma, resilience, and the long journey towards self-reclamation. Childhood in Brooklyn. Mike Tyson was born on June 30th, 1966, at Fort Greene Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. His early life was defined by absence. His biological father, Purcell Tyson, disappeared completely, leaving no face or guidance for young Mike. Jimmy Kirkpatrick briefly stepped in, only to leave when Mike was 2. His mother, Lorna Tyson, struggled against poverty, raising Mike and his brother Rodney in failing apartments. They eventually landed in Brownsville, one of New York's toughest neighborhoods in the 1970s. The streets were harsh, the nights ruled by sirens, and survival a constant battle. Oversized glasses and a soft lisp made Mike an easy target for bullying. In a world where adults often failed him, he learned early that protection was his own responsibility. Pigeons and early solace. Amid the chaos, Mike discovered a rare form of comfort, pigeons. On rooftops above Brownsville, he found safety and companionship among the birds he fed and tended. They became confidants for the boy who rarely trusted humans, vessels for the secrets he could not share with people, but the cruelty of his world followed him even there. One afternoon, a neighborhood boy killed his favorite pigeon, leaving the small body on the ground. To Mike, it was a moment of irreparable loss, a heartbreak that hardened into resolve. From that moment, he vowed never to feel powerless again. That vow would shape every punch, every fight, and every step he would take in the years to come. Streets of Brownsville Mike's vow pulled him deeper into Brownsville's unforgiving streets. He joined the Jolly Stompers, a local gang, running errands and learning the harsh codes of survival. By age 13, police records showed nearly 40 incidents with his name. Violence and trouble became his language, ways to protect himself and demand recognition in a world that often ignored him. When his environment became unbearable, he sought out empty spaces to train, fists snapping into air, imagining a life that could only be built with force. Every strike was a promise. No one would humiliate him again. Survival, dominance, and defiance became intertwined. Even his mistakes, like stealing a purse at 12, were rooted not in cruelty, but in desperate instinct. A turn toward boxing. At 13, a misstep landed Mike in Tryon School for Boys in upstate New York. Tryon was cold, silent, and relentless, exposing a boy already hardened by Brownsville. Nights were filled with loneliness as he hoped for visits from his mother that never came. For 9 months, he sat near the door, clinging to a fragile hope of recognition. It was here that Bobby Stewart, a counselor and former boxer, first saw the potential beyond the anger and violence. Stewart recognized a spark in Mike worth nurturing. For the first time, an adult didn't look past him. This acknowledgement planted a seed that would grow into an extraordinary boxing career. Someone finally saw him, and in that moment, a new life quietly began. Enter Cus D'Amato. At 14, Mike entered the Catskill Boxing Club under the guidance of Cus D'Amato. Unlike other adults, Cus did not dismiss him or fear his rage. He saw the promise of greatness, speaking words that felt impossible to hear. "And I believe you can be the youngest heavyweight champion in the world." The statement struck Mike with a mixture of hope and fear. For the first time, someone expected more from him than trouble. Cus opened not just a gym, but a home, offering meals, shelter, and guidance. Discipline was harsh and relentless, 4 a.m. runs, rigorous routines, but it provided structure and purpose. In Cus, Mike discovered that true strength wasn't only in fists, but in the ability to channel anger, absorb discipline, and be guided by someone who refused to look away. Early triumphs and loss, Tyson's meteoric rise followed a combination of raw talent and Cus's guidance. Every fight, every knockout, was a testament to hours of unseen preparation, a life of frustration transformed into controlled power. But personal life was more complicated. Early marriages brought hope, only to collapse under pressures neither could fully control. His first marriage ended in 1989 after less than a year, leaving Tyson not just heartbroken, but stripped of the fragile family structure he longed for. These losses exposed him to the realities of love, timing, and human fragility. Life outside the ring was often as unforgiving as the ring itself. The lessons of childhood, abandonment, instability, survival, echoed into adulthood, shaping both his choices and his vulnerabilities. Monica Turner and stability. By 1990, Tyson found a stabilizing presence in Monica Turner, a pediatric resident with quiet strength and patience. Unlike previous relationships, she met him not as a celebrity or champion, but as a man seeking to rebuild himself. Their bond was steady, grounded, and patient, growing in quiet gestures rather than grand displays. Monica remained present during Tyson's imprisonment, helping him navigate the challenges of rebuilding his life. They married privately in 1997, and with the births of Raina and Amir, Tyson experienced tenderness and family life previously unimaginable. Yet old wounds and trauma persisted. Even in love, he struggled with impulses and restlessness. Monica's patience became a quiet lifeline as he learned what it meant to stay and protect a home he once only imagined. Fatherhood and responsibility. Fatherhood brought Mike new dimensions of responsibility. Milan and Morocco became sources of grounding, mirrors reflecting his efforts to stay present and stable. Parenting required restraint, care, and consistency, the very qualities he had lacked as a boy. Tyson began to understand that strength was no longer only about domination, but about endurance, discipline, and presence. The quiet victories of daily parenting, making breakfast, helping with homework, listening, became as significant as any championship belt. His body carried decades of punishment, and his mind carried unresolved trauma. Yet the family he built gave him the framework to confront both. Strength, he learned, was as much about survival as it was about choosing patience and love. Aging and physical strain. By his 50s, Tyson's body had absorbed decades of physical punishment. Hands that once delivered lightning-fast knockouts stiffened, knees creaked with every step, and his back reminded him of every storm endured. Even everyday tasks were in negotiation with pain. A gastric ulcer flare in 2024 highlighted the fragility of a body that had once seemed indestructible. The doctor's warnings were clear. The victories remaining in his life would depend on restraint, not force. Tyson embraced a new kind of discipline, replacing sprints with quiet walks, explosive training with gentle stretches. Recovery required humility, patience, and vigilance. For a man accustomed to conquering opponents with fists, learning to yield to his body was both challenging and transformative. Discipline and reinvention. Today, Tyson lives a life built on restraint, discipline, and self-awareness. He has rebuilt not for glory, but for endurance. His net worth, estimated between $10 and $20 million, reflects survival as much as financial achievement. At his peak, he earned over $400 million, yet the true victory lies in his ability to face aging, trauma, and vulnerability. Tyson's story shows that growth is not an endpoint, but a daily choice. Strength is not only about dominance, but about choosing restraint, patience, and accountability. He works continuously, physically, mentally, and spiritually, demonstrating that human resilience often requires the quiet courage to live fully with what we have survived. Lessons from a life in the ring. Mike Tyson's life teaches that real power extends beyond knockout victories. True resilience lies in facing trauma, learning from it, and finding ways to continue. From a boy who felt invisible in Brownsville to a global icon, his journey underscores the importance of being seen, of discipline, and of patience. Triumph is measured not by the applause, but by the quiet acts of rebuilding a life, embracing restraint, and nurturing relationships. Tyson's narrative is a testament to the human capacity for transformation, even after decades of hardship. The lessons of his life resonate far beyond boxing, offering insight into survival, growth, and the ongoing work of living consciously with both strength and vulnerability. Continuing the journey. Mike Tyson's story is unfinished, as all human stories are. At 59, he continues to navigate life with honesty, reflection, and an evolving sense of self. He does not claim perfection or completion, only the daily effort to live with integrity, endurance, and care. His journey invites reflection. How do we practice discipline in our lives? How do we confront trauma and rebuild what was broken? Tyson's life reminds us that real victory lies in the choice to continue, even when the applause fades. Growth, resilience, and survival are not one-time achievements, but ongoing practices, reminding us that our stories are powerful precisely because of what they demand us to endure.